lilkazy. What's up? I had a question. Have you ever seen somebody, like, have you ever had that feeling to push somebody that was riding a bike? Like, say for instance, you see a little kid just riding his bike down the street, right? And he just like having so much fun just riding his bike, and you just sitting there on the porch like, okay, this dude is having way too much fun. Like, that would be so funny if somebody just went up there and just like knocked him off his bike, and you just stole his bike. Just go over there and just like kick his bike over just because he just over there having so much fun. You just want to be ignorant. Just go over there, just like, nigga, fall. Like, forget you. Forget you. You got your bike, so I'm just gonna steal your bike. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be having that feelings too. Um, what else am I about to say? Have you ever seen a really, really big person sitting on a stool, right? Like one of these, right? And like half of their butt is on the stool, and you just want to go up to them and just like push them off the stool and then just take off running because they so big they just ain't gonna catch you. And you just want to do that just because it's something to do. You know what I'm saying? It looks funny. Like, it would be funny if you were to do that. Or have you been on a bus, right? And you seen somebody sleep, and you just like, man, what if somebody just like come up to him and just scream in his ear? What would he do? Like, just go up to him and just like, ah! When the bus is flipping over, and just see how quickly they get up and just run to the door. Would that be funny? Or what would you do if you seen somebody just like just staring at you the whole time, right? And you just like, okay, what should I do? Just like make them look at me. You know what I'm saying? Just give them something to look at, right? That's what you're saying. Like, just give them something to look at. So you just staring at them back, right? You just staring at them back. And the next you know, they get up and they all like, what you staring at? What you staring at? And you like, dude, you was just staring at me. So I just thought should do you a favor and stare at you back. You know what I'm saying? Man, people are so slow. Anyway, have you ever seen your mother in the kitchen cooking, right? So she just in there just cooking, talking on the phone, just cooking, and you just want to just go downstairs, turn off all the lights, and turn her back on just to see how she was gonna react, right? Just to see what she's gonna react. Just do that, just one good time, Go downstairs, like while she on the phone or cooking or something. Just go downstairs, like while she got all the lights on. Just make sure it's dark. Just make sure she got all the lights on. Just go downstairs, turn off the light, come back upstairs like, Mommy, the lights went out. Oh my gosh, the lights went out. And just start running around the house all like scared and stuff. And then go upstairs and get you like really, really a scary mask, right? And go up to her and just like, ah, just scare her. And then just go right downstairs, turn the light on, and turn the light back on and be like, Mommy, did you see that? Did you see that, Mommy? Did you see that? I'm just playing. Don't do that because you're going to get your ass whipped. Anyway, like I was saying, I do have many talents. Holla back. It's the Crazy Show.